You're on.
Yes, thank you. We moved on to the second item before I was finished on the first item. So
Oh, sorry.
you said the most important thing were the VLTs, and I just want
Yes.
to stay on those for a second, please, if we could. As you know, CCA, Christian Capital Advisors, did an analysis for the House, and they spoke about leasing machines versus the state purchasing machines. And they gave some numbers which I think caused me to ask, is it in the state's interest to continue to do a 7% lease, essentially 7% of revenues, as opposed to purchasing machines for $15,000 to $25,000 a piece? I'm wondering if you guys could respond to the analysis that CCA did.
Sure. I'll start, and Mark can chime in. Mark and Jay can chime in. But I think what you need to keep in perspective here is that this has been a highly successful program. I think the report listed a number of ways in which the state could do things that would make it more like a commercial casino operation, but that would then run afoul of some of the constitutional questions about the lottery operating and controlling the program. So I think a lot of it was there, but the most important part, I think, for you to consider as you go forward is the success this program has had with the machines the way they are, and now we've looked at a way of even improving and enhancing the availability of machines in a way that makes sense for the state and makes sense for us. And I think you need only look at the way that Twin River and Rhode Island has been able to maintain its gaming program in the face of very stiff competition coming in from around that use different models because they're commercial casinos with different taxation models as well. So I think I'll let Mark add in there, but I would encourage you to look at the success of the program here, as well as the restrictions, the constitutional restrictions that are in place here in Rhode Island as well in relation to those types of recommendations.
So just two things. One, the commercial casino model has a very different tax rate, one that the state would never contemplate. As the operator and the partner for the state, we would be deeply concerned if the state switched from a lease model to a purchase model. Because what would then happen is our fear would be in tense budget times, the state forced to make choices would cut out the capital to buy new machines. And then we would become increasingly uncompetitive. And one of the reasons so many states set it up this way for a lottery model is that they don't have to come up with the capital, and other people come up with the capital, and we've now got an agreement to come up with the capital. So you could end up with short-sighted decisions where a state cuts the capital, it's the only one that can buy, and as a result of that, the facility long-term suffers, and you essentially mortgage your future. We're doing just the opposite here. We're increasing investment to make sure we're driving performance for the future.
And your investment is based on essentially the 7% take of the NTI, and that terminal income.
That's exactly right. You can go to an entirely different model. It's very hard to do with an existing facility where you say we're going to charge a lower tax rate and let the casinos buy the machines, right? So that's what happens in Massachusetts. The state of Massachusetts, Commonwealth of Massachusetts doesn't buy the machines. They only tax them at 25%, and then they have enough money to go buy machines, right? We're taxed at 60%, right? So the state is the majority partner, and I just think you're going into dangerous territory long-term if you have to rely on the state to provision capital every single year to buy machines in challenging budget environments.
And I think another indicator, if you look at the makeup of the floor of those other facilities, it mirrors what's going on at Lincoln and Twin River and Tiverton. So you're not getting the benefit of a better floor makeup or anything of that nature.
Now, it was more the expense of the machines over the life of a machine.
I know that's one data point, but you
Yeah.
can't just take that one without looking at the tax structure as well.
Well, that's why I'm asking the questions. They essentially said over the 10-year life of a machine, we're paying $70,000 out, which is that 7% over the 10-year life of a machine. Your average machine makes $100,000 NTI a year. It's $1 million over the 10-year life. That's $70,000 we'd be paying for a machine that we could have purchased for $15,000 to $25,000. But I think your argument is probably the best one against it, and I appreciate you making that.
Thank you.